Okay, perfect. Let's start now. First question. Convert the below binary number, that is 1 blah blah blah, to decimal. Right. So it's basically a binary to decimal conversion. So let me do the conversion in this writing book. Let me write here the grade 10 kilometer, because I use the same thing for grade 11 as well. I mean the same book. Right. So the first question is talking about converting the binary number 1100 110 to binary. So let me write the binary number there: 1100 1101, and we have to convert this to decimal as per the question, right? To convert any number, okay, whether it's decimal, octal, hexadecimal, to convert any number to decimal, what we have to do is we have to multiply each digit by its place value, right? So for example, if you take this decimal binary number, that's 1100 1101. If I want to convert this to binary decimal, I have to multiply each of these digit or each of this bit by its place value. To figure out the place value, you need two things. One is the base of that number and also the position. If you take a binary number, what is the base of a binary number? You can answer the chat, okay? What the base of a binary number? It is 2, right? So to find the place value, you need the base first, and then you have to multiply it to the power of the position. So if you take this number, you will always be start with the right side corner and the position start with 0. So this is going to be 2 to the power 0. This is going to be 2 to the power 1. This is going to be 2 to the power 2. This is going to be 2 to the power 3. This is going to be 2 to the power 4. This is going to be 2 to the power 5. This is going to be 2 to the power 6, and this is going to be 2 to the power 7, right? So what I'm doing here in light blue is I'm actually finding the place value. So keep in mind, to find the place value, I need two things. One is the base and one is the position. What is the value of 2 to the power 0? That's going to give you 1. What is the value of 2 to the power 1? That's going to give you 2. So likewise, if you derive the remaining values, 2 to the power 2 will give you 4, 2 to the power 3 will give you 8, 2 to the power 4 will give you 16, 2 to the power 5 will give you 32, 2 to the power 6 will give you 64, and 2 to the power 7 will give you 128. So what I'm doing here is I'm deriving each digit's place value. Okay, each digit's place value. Now, for example, decimal number, you all have heard this, no, ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place. Likewise, in binary number, the place value goes as ones place, twos place, fours place, eight place. I derive their place values. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the place value with the respective digit. The place value with its respective digit. Place value with its respective digit killer. I'm going to multiply each digit with its place value. When I multiply 1 and 1, I'll be getting the answer as 1. 2 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. 8 times 1 is 8. 16 times 0 is 0. 32 times 0 is 0. 64 times 1 is 64. 128 times 1 is 128. So what I did is, now I found the values in each respective place. Earlier I found the place value. Now I found the value of the digit or value of the each bit, right? To find the equivalent decimal answer, what I should now do is I have to add all of them together, which is basically 128 plus 64 plus 0 plus 0 is anyway 0. So plus 8 plus 4 plus 1, right? So if I add them all together, I'll be getting 128, 132, 106, 192, 100, 200, 205. To add them all together, 205. Normally, if it's a binary number, we mention the base as 2. Octal number, we mention the base as 8. Hexadecimal, 16. In decimal, if you want, you can mention the base 10. Only in hexadecimal, you have the privilege that if you want, you can even ignore the base. Now, I have mentioned here the base as 10. If you want, you can ignore the base as well. Anyways, tell me, do all of you understand how I found the answer here as 205? Yes or no? Can we write the base in letters? It's not recommended. Sometimes you might get questions. In the question, they would have given it letters because normally it's hard to type. So if you're typing, sometimes we normally do put in letters. But in your case, don't mention letters. Always go with numbers. Okay. Perfect. So the answer you can mention for the first one there is 205. So answer here is going to be 205. The workings I showed the next page. Is it grade 10 first term paper? Yes, it is a grade 10 first term paper. Correct. The next question. Classify the computer according to the size, right? If you take computers, you can classify based on two things. What are the two categories you can classify the computer based on? Exactly. You can classify the computer based on two things, right? One category is called the, oh, let me draw like this. So one is based on the technology used. Okay, so there are three technologies that is being used. Okay, one, two, three. Other one is based on the size. If you take technology, based on technology, we have three technologies. What are the three technologies we have? Exactly. We have analog computers, we have digital computers, and we have hybrid computers. And then based on size, we can categorize what are the categories we have based on size? Exactly. Based on size, you can categorize them as supercomputers, the largest in size, then mainframe computers, little bit small and little bit less powerful, then mini computers, and then the microcomputers. Okay. So this question is talking about the classifications based on size. So based on size, you can mention as supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, and the microcomputer. Is that clear, all of you? So that's going to be the answer to the second question. Okay, so you can mention here mention the full word supercomputer. I'm just mentioning superkiller, but mention the answer. Always have the habit of writing the full word. And then the next one, right to services provided by the government to the citizen by using IT. Right. So tell me two services you all know the government provides to the citizen. Yes, one is a map of Sri Lanka. Correct. Exactly. Birth certificate, utility bill payments. Then you can mention the license renewal. Okay, legal system, killer, you can mention other stuffs as well. Okay, so these are some of the very common services the government provides to the citizens. You can mention other services as well. They are all correct. Next, business organizations are not mainly for the governments. They are actually for the business. The government to business only. They'll know about the government organizations. Government organizations are not mainly relevant to defense. So you can write that. You can write about the other business organizations or what government organizations, all those stuff separately, not under citizens mainly. So you can measure any of the two services there. Next, state whether the following statements are true or false. Ada Augusta is considered as a first lady programmer. Is that statement true or is that statement false? Yes. Actually, the whole name goes as Madam Ada Augusta Lovelace. They have missed the word called Lovelace, but yeah, she is a person who is considered as a first program. She wrote the first program for which computer? Exactly. She wrote the first program for the analytical engine. Analytical engine was made by whom or developed by, I mean, mainly it was made by whom? It was invented by, exactly. It was invented by Charles Babbage. There's a specialty of this analytical engine. It was called the first what? Exactly. It's the first computer. Okay. It's the first ever computer that was created. Perfect. Right. Like the head against a ribbon. Is that statement correct? That statement is true. Okay. Impact printer strikes against a ribbon. Non-impact printer does not strike against a ribbon. So this statement is correct. Okay. See the word they mentioned does not strike. Correct, right? It does not strike. If it strikes, it's an impact printer. So does not strike, it's an unimpact printer. Is that clear? Imagine like how seals work. You all know how the seal works, right? In seal, we touch that what you call ink pad and then touch the paper. That's how the impact printers work. Impact print also, there's something called ink ribbon. It will touch there'll be like a needle. Needle will touch that ribbon and touch the paper. It's an impact printer. Non-impact printer, that doesn't happen. So that's also true. The next one. What is the biometric device used to record the employee's arrival and departure time in the office premises? Okay, biometrics means mainly like about human features. For example, if you take your phone, you can unlock your phone using Face ID, fingerprint. Likewise, those things are, normally if you take in schools or some other places where you see what you call marking the attendance of like employees and all those stuffs. What is the biometrics they use? Yeah, they scan what? They scan the fingerprint. Okay. The question is asking about the biometric device. So what is the device used to scan the fingerprint called as? It has the word fingerprint as well in it. What is it? Exactly. It's called the fingerprint reader. It's called the fingerprint reader. Right? That's called the fingerprint reader. Is that clear of you? Cool. Again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat, okay? Yes, okay, yes. Afsa, what are you doing here? See, the 11.5 also have come here. Earlier, Yunus was there, now you have come. Is there any other 11.5 here? Is fingerprint scanner correct? Fingerprint scanner. Correct, correct. Nothing to do at home. Can see how jobless you are. Anyways, fine. Next one. Telemedicine is a method of providing medical care remotely. List one advantage of telemedicine in addition to the remote accessibility. Right. In terms of advantage of telemedicine, there are several. For example, there's something called emergency telemedicine. Tell me other advantages you all know before I write. Then telemedicine consultation. Then telesurgery. Then home health medicine. Then teletraining. Okay. So when they ask about advantages, have the practice of writing this. Okay. If you can't remember these exact terms, try elaborating them. Okay. If you can't remember this exact term, okay, yes, yes. Okay, if you can't remember this, try elaborating those terms. Don't go and mention random stuffs, okay? Because if you take your if you take your lesson, they are mentioned under advantage of telemedicine, these five stuffs. So better you mention these instead of mentioning anything else. List one challenge in using telemedicine. Okay, to make sure the telemedicine works perfectly, you need something. What do you need? A proper what connection? Exactly. Normally in telemedicine, a proper internet connection is required. Or you can use the word called proper, or you can use the word called stable. So a proper or else a stable internet connection is required. Internet connection is required. So that's the only challenge which you might face when you're checking with telemedicine. Nuraz, this is it's a paper. So once the paper is done, I'll be sharing the PDF at the end in the channel. Fine. The next one. Match the columns A and B appropriately. Meanwhile, if you have any questions regarding anything, you can drop in the chat, okay? Because I'm going in the same flow. Keyboard. Okay. Out of A and B, what is something that you can notice in a keyboard? Actually, if you have seen a keyboard, you'll notice it. Is it the topology, plotter, speedometer, or QWERTY? Exactly. If you take the keyboard, the first five characters below the numbers you can see is this QUERT. So obviously that's going to be matched here. Then analog computer. Which are the out of the remaining three? What is the analog computer? INSAF, if it's available, I can. Someone not available. If it's available, I can. Exactly. It's a speedometer. Then mesh is what? Mesh is a plotter or mesh is a topology? Exactly. Mesh is one of the topologies we have. And then output device, obviously plotter. Okay. Plotter is what type of output device? On the output device, we have learned several categories. No? So plotter is what is it actually? It is a exactly. A plotter is normally a printer. This is normally used to print these architectural plan, all those stuff. So it's used. Exactly. It's an unimpact printer as well. Perfect. Fine. So if you match it, this is what you get. Yes. The next one. The GCLO results obtain their so GCLO students obtain their results via education website. When the index number is entered into the system validates it. Validate means it's checking is the user entering a correct index number. If it is valid, then the results will be displayed on the screen. Right, the input, process, and output of the scenario. Okay, in this scenario, what is the input? Input means whatever you're giving for the system. So in this scenario given here, what are the things you're going to give for the system? Can we consider ECG machine as a analog computer? No, ECG machine is a hybrid computer. Exactly. If you take the system, the thing you're going to give for the system is what? Your index number. So input is going to be what? Your input is going to be the index number. So that's going to be the index number. And then tell me some sort of a process this system is going to do. There are actually two processes. One is said directly, one is indirectly said. Yes. The process we have here is one thing, validating the index number. Validating index number. Think and tell me, it's not directly mentioned, it's indirectly mentioned. Think and tell me what is the other process we have here. You can tell finding the oral results. So it has to go to the system has to go and find the oral results. No, that's also actually a process. But again, that's not given directly, so you can ignore that. Okay. For process, you can mention validating input, the index number. Right. Then what is going to be the output of this system? Exactly. Your A-level results will be the output, or A-level results sheet, or A-level results killer. You can mention that as an output, right? Is that clear, all of you? So always think when you take a computer, whatever the things you're going to give for the computer is going to be called as input. Whatever the things, computer or program or software, whatever things, okay? Whatever things you're going to get from the computer, you can call it as output. Whatever the things the computer does within itself, okay, like for example calculation or something like that, we call it as a process. QWERTY, if you take a keyboard, the first five characters in the keyboard is QUERT, so that's something relevant to the keyboard. That's why. Okay, right. The next one. What do you mean by a firewall? Right. Normally, if you take an internet connection, what will happen is there can be certain unauthorized people, like hackers and all, trying to access your computer using the internet. Okay. So we have something called firewall. It's type of net. We have like there's something called software firewall and hardware firewall. Okay. What this firewall will do is it will protect your computer from these unauthorized people. That means the people who you have not allowed, like hackers, from accessing your computers. Right. So what you can do is you can write there the what do you call purpose of firewall. So the what do you mean by firewall? You can say firewall protects your computer from unauthorized access or from unauthorized people accessing it. Example, you can mention protects your computer from hackers, right? So there is something called software firewall and hardware firewall. All the computers normally have a software firewall, majority. Hardware firewall means it's like a separate device which you can buy that's mainly used to protect your network itself, right? If you say viruses, is it wrong? If you just mention viruses, that is not so because virus is not actually unauthorized access. Like one virus is a part of unauthorized access, but hacking is only unauthorized access. Firewall is just network security. Elaborate and mention your answer. Don't just mention it's a security. Can we write like this? Networking device which is used to protect the network from unauthorized access and harmful file. You can mention like that, but again, because they have just mentioned the word firewall, there are two types of firewall. So they are not directly mentioned, is it hardware firewall or software firewall? So when you mention that it is like a networking device, when you use the word networking device, you're talking about hardware firewall, right? So in software firewall is not a networking device. Software firewall is like a program that is there inside your computer itself. Have you noticed, when you're using your computers, sometimes you're trying to install applications, it'll give you a warning message. Are you sure you want to install this application? It looks a bit sus killer. You might get this warning message sometimes. Those are given by a software firewall. So firewall is generally it's mainly about protecting your computer from these hackers and unauthorized access. But if they talk about like hardware firewall, then you can mention about networking device part as well. Right. Write down the component of the CPU. A CPU has three components. What are the three components? Exactly. It's called ALU, arithmetic logical unit, CU, control unit, and then we have the memory registers. Okay, so these are the three components of CPU. Give me. Sorry. So firewall is automatically comes in the computer. Software firewall automatically comes in the computer. Actually, it comes the operating system normally. Yes. Can I give an example of hardware firewall? Hardware firewall is an example. It's a device, man. Hardware firewall is a device. There's a device now, like you have mouse, keyboard, killer. There's a device called hardware firewall. It looks like a Wi-Fi. In terms of looks, it looks like a Wi-Fi router, but there's a separate device. Clear? Right. The next one. Give two examples for volatile memory and non-volatile memory. Now, when you take your storage devices, sometimes when you off, for example, all these storage devices, you're going to connect to your computer, you're going to connect to your phone, or you're going to connect to some sort of a device and use it, right? Now, there is this, if you take the storage device, what you will be doing is you will be connecting like it to your computer. No, sometimes when you off your computer and on your computer, all the data will be lost. All the data will be lost, right? If the data is going to be lost when you off and on the computer, if the data is going to be lost, we call it as volatile memory. It's like, for example, you can think volatile like sensitive. So there are some people, if you go and touch them, they start crying directly. So volatile memory is something like that. If you off and on the computer, you'll forget everything. It's like you might have this, your grandparents or who have this, what do you call that disease? Amnesia. It's like that. When you off and on the computer, you'll forget everything, right? So if you take your computer, if you take your, for example, RAM, tell me, does RAM come under volatile memory or non-volatile memory? Exactly. Your RAM comes under volatile memory. What else do you have under volatile memory? Yes. You can take your cache memory also as a volatile memory. Okay. Is ROM a volatile memory? ROM stands for read only memory. No, ROM is a non-volatile memory. Okay. ROM only stores your, for example, on your computer, you can see like the BIOS, like basically that logo of your computer. If you're on your phone, you can see logo of your phone, all those stuff. Those all are stored in ROM. So ROM is actually a non-volatile memory. Apart from non-ROM, you can mention other storage device as well. For example, like your hard disk, then pen drives. Most of these are all certain non-volatile memories. Okay. So volatile, keep in mind, when you on and off your computer, all the data are lost. Non-volatile, when you on and off, nothing of them is lost. Is that clear, all of you? Exactly. So non-volatile is like temporary storage, and volatile is temporary storage, and non-volatile is permanent. What about SSD? SSD is non-volatile. They are external. You can have external also. Is cache also volatile? Yes. Cache memory is volatile. Is ALU is a volatile memory? ALU is not a memory. ALU does not store values. In the CPU, who stores values? In your CPU, who stores value? Registers, your memory registers. Memory register is also volatile. Okay, so you on and off your computer, memory registers will forget everything. ALU does not store value. Huh? In CPU, who stores value is memory register. Keep that in your mind. Everything that comes on a secondary storage is non-volatile. Um, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Is cache memory volatile? Yes. Sly close the calculations right now. ALU does a calculation. Yes. ALU does the calculation, gives back the value, right? Okay, fine. Perfect. Any other questions here? What is CU? CU is control unit. CU stands for control unit. Right. The next one. Hard disk is made of several components. The figure shows the hard disk components and identify the labels 1 to 5. Right. So let's identify. What do you call this disk-like structure as? The number one. Yes, the disk-like structure you call it as a platter. So number one is going to be called as a platter. Okay, it looks like a plate. No, it's called a platter. And then, what rotates that platter? Is it cache memory or cache? It's called cache memory. CHE. Exactly. What rotates the platter is called a spindle. And then you can see like a head there, something which is like pointing towards the what do you call platter? What do you call the number three as? Yes, it's called the read write head. You can read data also, you can write data also using that head. So read write head. And then number five, what do you call this number five as? Normally you have two things here, a long one and a small one. The small one is actually the power, okay, what do you call power connector. And then what do you call the long one as? Exactly. The small one is a power connector. You have a long one here. This is called the IDE connector. So they are not given you the IDE connector. They are given you only the power connector in this label. Fine. Perfect. Next, write the function of label 3. Okay. What is the function of label 3? The label itself has the answer. Okay. So label 3 is the basically the read write head. It is used to, wait, number 4. I missed the number 4. Number 4 is spindle. Sorry. Number 4 is spindle. Not spindle. Number 4 is actuator. Actuator, actually it's called. Or you can call it as read write arm. Actuator. You can call it actuator arm as well, but I just call it actuator. Okay. So yeah, if you take the third one, the read write head, it's used to read data from the platter as well as write data to the platter. It is used to read data from the platter as well as fifth one is HDD case. No, fifth one is the IDE connector as well as platter, read from the platter as well as as write data to the platter. Is that clear, all of you? Any questions there up there? Why does it read and write? Without reading and write, how can you store this? These are hard disk, man. If you want to get, for example, why do you use a hard disk if you're not going to use it to store data and retrieve data? Obviously, you're using a hard disk to store and retrieve data. So without writing the data and without reading the data, what is the purpose of the hard disk basically? Why can't we say for the fifth HTD? Is it pointing towards the what do you if you notice this proper if you notice this line properly, it is not pointing towards this outer part. They are not mentioned it like this. If you look at it closely, it is pointing towards this part. It is pointing towards this part. That is not the HTD case. The outer part is only called the HTD case. Okay. That inner part is basically the IDE connector, and this part is actually the that part is the power connector. This is the IDE connector. So you have to look at exactly properly where is it pointing. Notice here the line comes up to here. See, this is the end part of the line. This whole line comes up to here. If it is up to here, then you can say yes, it's a HDD case. So it depends on where it's pointing towards to. Got it? Floppy disk is also a type of magnetic storage device. It's very thin. It was used in the second generation computers. Right, perfect. Next. The network topology is a pattern of connection designing curve network, correct? Identify the above topology. And they have made it very easy. They have given you the picture also behind. What is this topology? Exactly. This is called the star topology. This is called the star topology. And then next one, give two devices that suits to the X. Okay, there are two devices X could be. What are two devices? Exactly. It could be either a switch or it could be either a hub. What is meant by topology? Topology is basically if you have if you have a computer network is where multiple devices are connected together. No, topology means the way they are connected together, the way they are arranged. Okay, for example, if you take four computers, they can be connected like this together, like this, or they can be connected like this, or they can be connected like this. So the way they are connected is basically what we call as a topology. Okay, so it depends on how they are connected. That's what the way it's arranged. It's actually given in the question as well. In top itself, that's what we did here. The topics they mentioned, network topology, the pattern of connection in designing terminal network. Okay, so we have a switch or hub. Next one. What are the two differences between the above two devices, switch and hub? Okay, so if you take switch and hub, one of the difference you can talk about is a data transmission mode. Okay, if you take switch, what is the data transmission mode? Is it simplex, half duplex, or full duplex? Exactly, it's a full duplex data transmission mode. Then, if you take hub, it is simplex, half duplex, or full duplex. It is half duplex. The data transmission mode is half duplex. This is one of the characteristic. Then, in terms of switch, there is one special feature switch has. In switch, you can control the computers, control the access, control the computer's access to the network, control each computer's access to the network, right? So if there's five computers, you can control, okay, what computer should have access to the network and one computer should not have access to the network, you can control it. But in hub, all computers connected will have access to the network. All computers connected will have access to the network. Indirectly, what I mean here is switch you can control and hub you can't control. Indirectly, that's what it means, right? So these are the main two difference. In terms of speed, what is the fastest? Is switch fast or hubs fast? In terms of speed, who is fast? Not a big difference, but comparatively, yes, faster comparatively, slower comparatively, right? So these are some of the differences you can mention between a switch and hub. Right, the next one. So this is for the question number 3, okay? Give two advantages of computer network. What is the main advantage of computer network? The main advantage of computer network is you can share resources easily. That's the main advantage. Share resources easily. Apart from that, what are the other advantage you can have from a computer network? You have security up to a certain level, correct? Less storage is needed. Okay, less local storage is required. Okay, less local storage is required. Correct. Can share resources like can share what you call can share devices. Okay, can share devices. Okay, so if you say can share devices means like printers, right? You can mention that suppose can share devices in brackets. You can write example printers. That's another advantage. Then emails also you can email. Then social media. These are all some of the advantage we have because of computer network. Right? These are the main things. Don't go and mention about researching. Then saves time. Don't mention all of these stuff. They're not suitable answers. Right? What is duplex? Half duplex, full duplex, simplex. These are all data transmission mode. That is how the data is transferred between a sender and receiver. Like is it one direction or two direction? That kind of idea. Exactly. The next one. What are the three types of computer network? Okay. Based on the geographical position, you can categorize a computer network into three. What are the three? Yes. One is LAN, which stands for local area network. One is MAN, which is metropolitan area network. But the other one? WAN, exactly, which stands for wide area network. These are three actually. Right? Cool. Is that clear of you? Again, it's very easy question. I could have taken a hard paper. Shish. This is a first term paper. This is some Jaffna school first term paper. Actually, for the grade 11, we did it was a standard paper. Next, transmitting the data information is called data communication. Correct. What are the basics? What about saving time for advantage? What about saving time for advantage? Saving time for advantage is not something that is suitable because, for example, if there is no component, I mean, obviously up to a certain level, yes, but let's say if I don't have a company network and if I want to share files, you can talk about saves time as well, but again, it's not very suitable. If you're out of answers, go for saves time. Don't keep that as a primary answer. Exactly, it saves times comparatively, but it's acceptable. But don't keep that as a primary answer. Okay, keep that like a last option. Fine. What are the basic components required for data communication? Okay, for a data communication to be present, there are three things you need. What are the three things you need? No. Yes. Exactly. There should be a sender, there should be a medium, and there should be a whom? A receiver. These are three people or three components you need for a data communication. Without a sender, you can't communicate with data. Without a receiver, the data cannot be communicated. And without a medium, the data cannot be taken from the sender to the receiver. Right? So these are three components required for data communication. Next, give three example. Medium is basically how the data is going to be taken from the sender to the receiver. Imagine now if you take here, I am the sender, like I am actually giving you all knowledge, and you all are the receivers. So teacher is the sender, students are the receivers, right? If you take this communication, they are communicating through what? What is it? What? How are you able to see me? And how am I able to connect with you? Using what? Using Zoom. Right? Zoom is application. So Zoom is a medium here. So the medium is basically how the data is going to be taken from the sender and gone and given to the receiver. That's what you call as medium. So here the medium is Zoom. Right. Give three examples for guided data transmission medium. Okay. When you talk about the data transmission medium, you can categorize them as guided and unguided. Okay. You can categorize data transmission medium as, if you take the data transmission medium, you can categorize them into two. Okay. One category is called the guided data transmission medium, and one you call as unguided. Basically, what does guided mean? Tell me another word we can use for guided. Exactly. Guided means basically a wired network. And unguided means exactly it's a wireless network. So guided means wired network and unguided means wireless network. So under guided, we learned actually three devices. What are the three devices we learned? Exactly. One is the twisted pair cable. One is the coaxial cable. And one is the fiber optics cable. Okay. Under twisted pair, we learn two types of twisted pair. Okay. What are the two types? Yes. One is a shielded twisted pair, that is STP, and one is an unshielded twisted pair, that is UTP. Okay, so these are two types. Okay, so if you take guided trade transmission, these are what is there. Under unguided, what are the two? What are the three categories? Wait, one, two, three. Yeah. Under unguided, tell me what are the three things you can find. Yes, one is radio waves, one is microwaves, and one is infrared. Okay. If you take Bluetooth, Bluetooth comes under what category? Exactly. Okay. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, they all come under this category of radio waves. Is that clear all of you? Okay. So this question is talking about guided data transfer medium. Remote also will come. Remote comes on infrared. In your TV remote, all use infrared. Okay. So this question is talking about guided data transfer medium. So here you can mention any of those wired devices. For example, you can talk about the what do you call coaxial cable. You can mention about, let's say, fiber optics cable. You can mention about what do you call twisted pair cable. You can mention both. Okay, unshielded twisted pair, shielded twisted pair cable. You can mention about them as well. All about unit 2. Yeah, this part is about unit 2. Exactly. Which is fast, guided or unguided? Guided is the fastest. Okay, out of all of this, what is the fastest one? What is the fastest medium? Exactly. The fastest medium is fiber optics. Okay. The fastest is fiber optics. When if you compare wireless and wired fiber optics is the fastest network we actually have. Right. The next one. What is mean by server computer and client computer? Okay. Normally, when there is going to be a connect, so the fiber optic is the largest cable. No, it is very thin. It is like so thin. Okay. But there is a very big coating, depends on where you're using. For example, when you're connecting two countries together, there's a fiber optic cable that goes underwater. So underwater fiber optic cable, even the cable is small, there's a coating which looks like this. So big coating to make sure to protect the cable. The cable is very, very thin. Next, what is meant by server computer and client computer? Normally, when you're having a data communication, let's say between two computers, there will be one computer who is going to request for data and one computer who is going to respond to the data. Okay. If you take server computer, is server computer going to request for data? Sorry, wait, let me start with client computer. If you take client computer, so easy when recalling the tools. Exactly. Okay. If you take client computer, is client computer going to request for data or respond to the data? Exactly. Client computer is a computer, okay, the computer that requests for data, that requests for data in a network. And then what will the server computer do? Exactly. The server computer, okay, this is the computer that responds, the computer that responds to the request made by whom? Exactly. To the request made by the client computer. Is that clear, all of you? Okay. So client is actually making request and server is going to give you response. Okay. Graphically, if I'm going to represent, it looks something like this. Let me take it where, draw it here. So there's two computers like this. Okay. If the computer that's going to send the data, the sending data we call as a request. And there's going to be another computer that's going to give the data back. No? So that's going to be called as a response. Okay. The computer that's going to request the data we call as a client computer. And the one that's going to respond is called a server computer. Right. Rixa, have you learned the grade 10 second lesson? So in grade 10 second lesson, data communication, there's something called data transmission modes, right? So there are actually, if you take data transmission modes, there is actually three modes. One we call as simplex, one we call as half duplex, and one we call as full duplex. Okay. Now, always we learn in data communication, there will be a sender and receiver. No? Okay. If it's going to be a one-way communication, that means if the data is going to be sent from the sender to the receiver only. from the sender to the receiver only, we call this as a simplex mode data transmission. We call this as simplex mode. Okay. Then let's say we have a sender and receiver. We have the sender and we have the receiver. Let's say both of them can communicate with each other, but there's a condition. Only one person can talk at a time. Both of you all can't talk at a time. Only one person can talk at a time. We call these type of network as half duplex. Now, for example, if you all know how walkie-talkie works, okay? Walkie-talkie is something kind of a half duplex. Only one person can talk at a time. Then the third method, Zafrinius. Okay. The third method of data transmission mode, we have a sender, we have a receiver. Okay. Here what happens is both the sender and receiver can talk at the same time. For example, a phone call. Okay. In phone call, both of you can talk at the same time. No? We call this as full duplex. Is that clear? Briggs, I got the idea of all three data. These are data transmission mode. So simplex is one way. For example, how your TV remote works. TV remote, you're sending the data from your remote to the TV. But can your TV send some data back to the remote? No, only it's a one-way communication. And if you take walkie-talkie, that's like half duplex. And if you take your phone call, that's like full duplex. So these are data transmission modes we have. Fine. Let's go for the next one. Computer ports are connected to the motherboard. Fine. Dash is used to connect the keyboard and mouse to the computer system. What is it? Yes, that is a PS2 ports. Perfect. Next, Dash is used to connect the computer to the network router. What do you use that for? Yes, we use the RJ45 port. Give me another name for this RJ45 port. Yes, it's also called the LAN port. Use the word called RJ45, but sometimes keep in mind in exams they can use the word LAN as well. If they use the word LAN, keep in mind they're referring to the RJ45 port. Next, it is used to connect the digital TVs and multimedia projector. But do we use that? It's the HDMI port. And then Dash is used to connect the printer to the computer system. What is it? Olden days printer, how did we do? Yeah, nowadays you can use USB. Early days we use printer using parallel port also was used, serial port also was used. All three ports were actually used for printers. Nowadays USB, early days parallel and serial was used. Next, Dash is used to connect the input and output devices to the computer system. What is it? Exactly. It's the USB. Mainly USB is only used to connect the input and output device to your computer. Okay, the last one is regarding short note. You are right regarding certain topics. But again, before I go for the MCQ parts, I'll just discuss some MCQs as well. Before I go for the MCQs, we have completed all the part 2 questions except the last one regarding short note regarding a grade 10 first term paper. Is there any questions you'll have? Anyone? Are this part, right? Based on what we discussed up to here. Anyone having any questions? How can we write the short notes? Right. That's basically you can just write it randomly. Okay. So for example, here they're talking about the services provided by the LMS for students. Now, if you take LMS can be benefited for your students as well as it can be what do you call LMS can benefit for the teachers as well. So you talk about how LMS can be benefited for the students. Okay. Let's say students can what do you call access to resources. Students can get what do you call can join video conferences. Then students can upload their assignments. Parents can track their children's performance. You can mention if you take your tute or if you take a textbook, you have a table containing the services LMS provides for students as well as service provided for the teachers. So you can elaborate that and explain it. Okay. LMS is a learning management system. For example, if you take my classes, I have a learning management system called MasterIT. Now, if anyone of you are joining my online classes, they'll be joining through this website called MasterIT.lk. Okay. So they'll be using this website called MasterIT.lk to purchase lessons, okay, to get the Zoom links of the class. Everything is happening here. Similar, Rizlan's has a website called MasterMaths. Like So these are what we call as LMS. So if you're coming from a class hall, you all join the class hall from this website. So these are LMS. If they ask the ports used in olden days for printers, only parallel port will be the answer. Actually, serial port was also used. For all three, have to write short notes and send. I mean, you don't have to do it now. I'm saying if you're like answering for your question around, you can just talk about that. So in LMS, you can talk about that, right? Some in the US. Then, in terms of fifth generation computers, you can talk about. Can you send more details about your class? Drop a WhatsApp message to my number and get the class details. Okay. If you want any class details, drop a message to my number. Just drop in the chat. Yes, point not point five. You're here. They ask a short note. No. So using this point, you have to elaborate it. Okay. Don't just mention point form. You have to elaborate. If you're going short note, elaborate it. Okay. You can mention an LMS. What you call students can use an LMS to access resources which the teachers wants to share with them. An LMS can also be used to upload an assignment a teacher assigned respectively. Then you can mention students can join video conferences using an LMS. Students can share what you call students can what do you call post their questions and what do you call questions. Students can post their questions and other students can answer a question in a forum inside an LMS. Now, for example, Master Forum is something like it's a Q&A forums. Likewise, you can elaborate and write your answer for that service part. How can browsing internet be half duplex? For example, when you go to the browser and you type something, while the browser is loading itself, you can't go and get something else. Okay, you have to wait till something loads for you to ask something else. You can't do both at once. Okay, you now for example, if you go and click on a button here, now for example, let's say go and click on this button. Okay, I had to wait till it loads to go and to give me the next instruction. So after I gave the instruction, it gave me something else. Now for me to give something back, I had to wait till it loads. That's why it's half duplex. We can't do it parallelly. Exactly, the description. How can serial port connect to printers? Earlier days, serial ports was used for printers and scanners. Earlier days. Earlier days. Can you give a sample note? You write it on your own, man. Or if you just go, I'll give you the point forms. You just using your own words. Because if you write like me, obviously teacher will know that you are certified from somewhere. Always short note, write in your own words. Don't copy from friends also. Just have the points and write on your own notes. Right? Don't mention short point forms for short notes. Okay. Then in terms of fifth generation computers, you can talk about let's say the storage in fifth generation computers. Okay. You can and also the processor. So you can talk about the storage device used for the fifth generation computers. You can talk about the processor used in fifth generation computers. You can talk about that internet was introduced publicly in the fifth generation computers. You can talk about let's say the in fifth generation computers we had in fourth itself we had the operating system with GUI. Fifth also had. In fifth generation we had some advanced high level programming languages used. In fifth generation AI was introduced. Fifth generation computer we had the small portable computers. You can mention all those stuffs. Can you take AI as a main topic in that's you can't mention about one topic. You mention about all. Mainly you talk about the physical part. In physical perspective, you can talk about let's say storage. You can talk about the processor. You can talk about let's say the what do you call internet was introduced. All those stuff. In software perspective, you can talk about AI and very advanced high level programming languages. All those stuff. So you talk about every aspects. You can talk about the price, the speed, the heat generation, everything. Okay. And then Ali drop me WhatsApp message. Okay, so you can mention about that. Then in terms of features of distance learning, so you can mention about the features of distance learning, right? Recording I'll be putting in the channel master channel. Okay, so when you talk about features of distance learning, you can mention about, for example, you can access, you can what do you call, you can save time. Okay, so using the distance learning, the students can save the traveling time spent. The students can save the amount of money they spend for traveling, the time they spend for traveling. Then students can learn from anywhere at any time. Then students can what do you call get access to sometimes online recording, and then students can get knowledge from more advanced people who are out of the country or even who are far away. Actually, you can elaborate and write your own points, right? I'll be posting this PDF on the group, this one channel, don't worry. Right? Should we write disadvantages too? Here they're talking about features, so you can mention the disadvantage as well because it's talking about features. Technically speaking, if you look at the marks here, they have mentioned 433. So basically, the first one should have at least 4 points. Four, like you don't mention point forms in your paragraph when you read, the teacher should understand you have mentioned 4 points. Second one should have at least 3 points. Third one should have at least 3 points when your person is reading. At least, I'm talking about. Which year this part two you're discussing? I think this is a 2020 recent one, 23, I guess, last year's Hindu college paper, as I can remember. Okay. Right. Now let me go for the MCQs. Short notes should be written in paragraph. It's like half page, maximum half page. Around 50 words, okay? Like 6 lines are more than enough. One paragraph, you can write the whole short note. You don't have to write multiple paragraphs. We'll sir be discussing part two paper. What was I doing all this time? We are done with the part two paper. We are all sleeping all this time. We are done with the part two paper. Now we're going to go to part one. That was so easy. Exactly. So here, this is the Jaffna Hindu College first term paper. It's a 3 hours paper. See, we did the discussion itself, and the part two went around only maximum 1 hour. Imagine you're doing the part two alone. In half an hour, you're done with the paper. Grade 10 first time is very easy. Grade 11 only things gets a bit harder. Grade 11 third time a bit more harder. But yeah. Anyways, fine. Let's go to this one now. When I was doing my first term short note, my sir knew I would cheat, and he had us. Okay, fine. Let's go to the MCQs now. Who invented the analytical engine? Who invented it? Yes. Analytical engine is the first computer. It was made by Charles Babbage. Perfect. Then, what was the effect? You can answer you can give the answers 1, 2, 3 if you can give those answers. Okay. Second question. What was the effect when vacuum tubes were replaced by transistors and later transistors were replaced by integrated circuits in the CPU? So basically, vacuum tubes were used in which generation computers? Vacuum tubes were used for processing in the first generation computer. And then transistors were used in the second generation computers. And then what do you call integrated circuits, IC, they were used in which computers? Exactly, they were used in third generation computer. So when we move from first generation to the second generation and then second generation, third generation, okay, tell me, in terms of speed, did the speed increase or did the speed reduce? Speed means basically processing power. The processing power increased. Fine. If you talk about the, let's say, let's talk about the electricity sun, and then let's say electricity power consumption, and let's say price, and let's say what else we can talk? Heat. No, heat was reduced. Okay, I was all reducing. Okay. If you talk about the heat, did the heat increase or did the heat reduce? The heat, the amount of heat produced. This question you have in the tube. Exactly. I actually stole the question from here only. Heat reduced. In terms of, let's say, size, did the size reduce or the size increase? Size also reduced. In terms of, let's say, power consumption, that means electricity consumption, electricity consumption also reduced. Then in terms of, let's say, heat, power, size, okay, in terms of price, did the price increase or price reduce? Exactly, the price also reduced. Right. So based on this, let's answer question. The first one, they're talking about both the processing power and electricity consumption increase. Did both processing power means speed, did both processing power and electricity, did both of them increase? No, only the processing power increased. This is wrong. Second, processing power increased while the electricity consumption decreased. Is that statement correct? Yes, that statement is actually correct. The third one, processing power decreased and electricity consumption increased. Is that correct? No. Next, Both the processing power and electricity, both of them decrease. Is that statement correct? No. So here the correct answer is going to be the second one. That is where the processing power increased and electricity consumption decreased. Is that clear, all of you? Perfect. The next one. In which form is data and instructions stored in computer? In computer, how it's stored? Exactly. Computers store all this data in binaries. Perfect. The next one. Dash is used to identify and count the number of animals in large area. We learned the first lesson. How do we identify? Using RFID, radio frequency identification device. Using that, we can, it's like marking attendance of the cows and all those stuffs. Simple. Which of the following is equivalent to the binary number 110010? Let's do the conversion. 110010. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Exactly, marking attendance of the count. So here 32 plus 16 is going to give you 48. 48 plus 2 is going to give you 50. So 50's answer is the answer of number 4. So here the answer is going to be the fourth one. Okay. Any questions out of the first 5 questions, anyone? Is there anything you want to ask regarding the first 5 questions? Anything? See, even the MCQs are bloody easy. Let's go for the next one. Which of the following guided media is used in modern telephone network? I gave you all this as well. What do we use? Fiber optics? No, fiber optics use internet cable, not in telephone cable. Telephone cable does not use fiber optics. Only mobile internet cable use fiber optics. Okay. Your internet cable uses fiber optics. Coaxial cable is used in your TV cable, the TV antenna. Out of shielded twisted pair, unshielded twisted pair. What is used in computer network? I gave in the tute. Both are unshielded. Sorry. Shit. I thought one is shielded and unshielded. Yo, they have made your answer easy then. It's anyways unshielded twisted pair. Okay. Tell me something shielded twisted pair is used. I gave an example. A device that all of us have at our house. And I'm pretty sure majority of the devices are connected to your phone as well now. Where is shielded twisted pair used? Yes. In mostly a phone charger, mostly a phone charger. A phone charger cable is there mostly that use shielded twisted pair. Mostly, yeah. But if you go and buy that Petage Duppa charger, don't expect a shielded twisted pair. If you're using a good charger, then you can expect a shielded twisted pair. Okay. The charging cable. Fine. So here it's unshielded twisted pair. Next. Which of the following is a non-volatile memory? Experience, exactly. Okay, non-volatile memory. Register is volatile, cache is volatile, RAM is volatile. Non-volatile is flash drive. Perfect. What's the answer to the sixth question? Sixth question answer is you can mention 2, you can mention 4, 3, both are correct. It's the same thing. Okay. Next. Consider the following devices. Joystick, light plane, plotter. But in textbook, what is it mentioned? Fiber optics. Mad. That's not telephone network, man. In the textbook, it's mentioned internet connection. That didn't work. You all have land phone. If you have land phone, go and see your land phone. How is it? If you have land phone in a house, they will give you fiber optics. Fiber optics is bloody expensive. Imagine for every house they're going to give fiber optics. Killing the bomb. Okay, fiber optics is very expensive. They give only fiber optics if you're going to get the even in Wi-Fi network. Only if you're getting fiber optics near Wi-Fi, you get the fiber optics cable. That's why you'll be getting the normal shielded twisted pair or mostly unshielded twisted pair. Okay, the next one. In antennas, we can see fiber optics. No, antennas use this one coaxial cable. So the part outing in the middle, you have like a copper wire coming out. That's coaxial cable. I'll have to double check that trick. So then, fine. Consider the following devices: joystick, light pen, plotter. Which of the above is or are pointing devices? So is joystick a pointing device? Yes. Is light pen a pointing device? Yes. Is plotter a pointing device? No. Plotter is a what type of device? Exactly. It's output device. And what type of output device? I mean, what is it basically? It's a printer. So answer is going to be A and B only. Answer is going to be A. Yeah, exactly. It gives hard copy, non-impact printer. Perfect. Next, which of the following is an approximate equivalent to 1 TB? In terms of physical class, I have not done this for Veloth online. Sorry, Veloth the physical, and I've done it for online. I think in Kolana we did this, okay? But yeah, so I'll teach you all now. If you talk about data storage, we start from something called bits, then we go to bytes, then we go to megabytes, sorry, kilobytes, then megabytes, then gigabytes, then terabytes, and then petabytes. There are more, but for your syllabus, we'll be stopping from here. Okay. If you are going to convert from is it Amina? Good, good, good. Okay. So will it come to exam? Yes, it will come to the exam. That's why I'm teaching you now. Okay. So we're now going to convert from bits to bytes, or let's say bytes to kilobytes, or kilobytes to megabytes, megabytes to gigabytes, gigabytes to gigabytes. You have to actually divide. Okay. From bits to bytes, you divide by 8. For the remaining stuffs, you divide by 1024. Okay. And again, if you're going to go up from PB, TB, TB, GB, GB, MB, MB, KB, these are all storage units. Okay. If you're going to go towards upwards, you multiply. So down you divide, up you multiply. You think like this. And this is 8, others all 1024. Okay. You think like this. Normally, let's say you're working in a company. And if you're going to go to a top position, if your position is going to go up and up and up, will your salary be increased, will your salary be multiplied, or will your salary be reduced, like divided? Normally, if you're going to a company, if you're going to a upper position, it will what? It will be multiplied. So always keep in mind, just know the order, bits, bytes, kilobytes, just know the order. So when you get the exam, just write this storage order. Okay. And then keep in mind, when you're going upwards, it's multiplied. If you're going downwards, it's divided. Okay. The first one is 8, others all are 1024. Now here they're asking, what is the first? Okay, let's see 1 TB. So if you take 1 TB, 1 TB is actually equal to 1024 GB, right? So if you're going to write 1024 approximately, so approximately means they're talking about like, let's consider 1000. Okay. So let's say it's approximately 1000 GB value. So how can you write 1000 in 10 to the powers? 10 to the power, how much is 1000? 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 3. So have they given us an option called 10 to the power 3 GB? No. So now let's convert it to MB. Okay. Now from GB, if you're going to MB, are we going up or are we going down? From GB, when you're going to MB, are you going up or are you going down? You're going up. So if you're going up, should you multiply or should you divide? You have to multiply. You have to multiply by how much? 1024. What is the closest approximation for 1024? I mean, in this question, they're talking about approximate. No? Exactly, it's 1000. So if you multiply by 1000, you will be getting MB. Okay. So tell me how you can write 1000 in 10 as 10 to the power 3, right? Now using your maths knowledge, tell me 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 3. If the base is same, then what is the answer? 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 6 MB. Have they given us option called 10 to the power 6 MB? I mean, one time 10 to the power 6 MB is there. Yes. So in that case, you can tell 1 TB is equal to 1 time 10 to the power 6 MB. Is that clear? Did you understand how I did this question? Okay, so always keep in mind, we're now going up, multiply, down, divide, and everything by 1024 by GB to MB. Because first 1 TB, I saw have they given option as have they given answer in GB. So GB answer was not matching our requirement. So I convert to MB. Let's say MB was not correct. If the MB was not correct, I would have gone for TB. Now, if I'm going to convert this MB to KB, okay, if I'm going to convert from MB to KB, I'll be multiplying by another 24. So in that case, it will be 10 to the power 6 into 1000 KB. That's again 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 3 KB, which is basically 10 to the power 9 KB. So in KB, it's 10 to the power 9 KB. Got it. So likewise, you can multiply and find in KB how much? 1 TB, okay, 1 terabyte. In GB, it's 10 to the power 3 GB. In MB, it's 10 to the power 6. in KB is 10 to the power 9. I'll elaborate all these stuffs further when I'm doing in the class, okay? Because they are learning theoretically, you know. So here I'm just telling you how you can handle the questions. Got it? Don't worry, sure, it'll be easy once we learn the class. Is this fourth, you know, it's the third in this letter part. Must multiply by 1024. If they ask the exact value, it's 1024. But again, when they're talking about 1024, you don't have to you don't have to find the answer exactly. You can write 1025 as 2 to the power 10. So you can do the calculations like that. All in 9. Got it? Right? Yes, third lesson, letter part. We'll be learning it next week in the class. In Bella online next week. Corona already we learned. Okay. So for example, you can write 1 GB as from GB if you're going to MB. Okay, if you're going from GB to MB, are you going up or wait, where is it part? From GB if you're going to MB, are you going up or are you going down? Shiraz, because we're talking to approximate, you can ignore the 24 part. They're going up. Okay. So when we're going up, do we multiply or do we divide? Must we add? No, we don't have to add the 24 because we're talking about approximation here. There's no options given as well. Exactly. You have to multiply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one. No, here's 1 GB now. So I'm going to multiply this 1 by 1024. So if I multiply by 1024, I'll be getting the amount in MB. So 1 GB in MB is basically 1 times 1024 MB. You can shorten and write this as 2 to the power 10 MB. Now, if you're going to convert it to the, if you're going to convert this value to KB, okay. Now we have 2 to the power 10 MB. To convert 2 to the power 10 MB into KB, okay, are we going up or are we going down? 2 to the power 10 MB. If I want to convert that to KB, am I going up or am I going down? Yes. From MB, when I'm going to KB, I'm going up. So if I'm going up, should I multiply or should I divide? Exactly. I have to multiply by 1024. Right? So if I multiply by 1024, so that's the 2 to the power 10. No? So 2 to the power 10, if I multiply by 1024, I'll be getting the answer in KB. Okay. So 2 to the power 10 into 2 to the power 10 because 1024 is 2 to the power 10. So I can write the answer as 2 to the power 20 KB. So if they ask you how much is 1 GB in KB, it's 2 to the power 20 KB. That's how you do it. You don't have to tell the final correct answer. You can keep your answer in index form. Got it? Okay, perfect. Next one. The binary equivalent of 124 is. So let's see. Take 124 and divide it by 2. 2 times 62 is 124, 0 remains. Divide this by 2. 2 times 31 is 60, 0 remains. Divide this by 2. 2 times 15 is 31 remains. Divide this by 2. 2 times 7 is 14, 1 remains. Divide this by 2. 2 times 3 is 6, 1 remains. Divide this by 2. 2 times 1 is 2, 1 remains. Divide this by 2. 2 times 0 is 0, 1 remains. So answer is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double 0 base 2. Because you're right from bottom to top. The remainders from bottom to top. So it's basically 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. There can only 4, sorry, 4 zeros. And 1, 2, sorry, 5 zeros should be there. They are not given the correct answer here. Let me double check, is my answer correct? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 19, 20. 2 remains. 3, 4, 5. Exactly. The answer given here is 50. So technically they have missing 1 0 there. But what is almost close to the answer is the last one. So the answer number 3. But it's missing a printing mistake. They're missing 1 here. It should be 5 ones. Okay. So answer is the third one only, but it should be 5 ones. Okay. Is that clear? So you divide it by 2 and then you write the remainders from bottom to top. Any questions, Daniel? No. Let's go for the next one. Consider the following ports. They are respectively. Okay. The first one is what type of port? Exactly. The first one is what type of port? It's the RJ45 port. So obviously now the answer number 2 is going to go wrong. Now we have remaining 1, 3, and 4. Right. The second port is what type of port? Exactly. It's the VGA port. So answer is going to be the fourth one. Again, another easy question. Next. Which input device? Fourth one says ERG port. Eh? Check your eyes. It's RJ port. I mean, RJ is also fine. It should be RJ45, but again, RJ is also fine. That's fine. Because 45 is actually a series. You can ignore it. Next. But the correct word is RJ45, but yeah, you can consider the last one. That's the most suitable answer. What's the meaning of RJ? I can't remember. I seriously forgot. If you really want the meaning, RJ meaning in RJ45 port. Let's ask Google. He will know the answer. Register jack. Right. Which input device? Who is Jack? Who knows? Maybe he's the person who made the. No, no, Jack is basically what you like. Whatever but if you're going to fix something, you call it as Jack. Like for example, if you're like if you're into like vehicles, or the Jack trailers, it's complex. I'm going to ignore it. Jack is what you do is to connect. Man. It's connect is like a jack. Or battery when vehicles get south, they'll have jack again. Like you forget about it. It's complex, unwanted basically. Anyways, which input device is used to correct the MCQ answers? Which one? Yes, it's the OMR. OMR is only used to correct the MCQ answers. Perfect. MICR is to actually what do you call check the bank. We already saw this question earlier. The bank checks. OCR is to scan the words from a picture or something. Scanner you can use to scan like documents and anything else in general. Right. Which of the following is not a characteristics of quality of information? You gave the same question in the yes, exactly. I gave the same question in the worksheet. What is not a characteristic? Yes, it's the inaccuracy. Okay, because information has to be always accurate. Completeness is available, relevance is correct, timeless is correct. Inaccuracy is the answer here. Next, which of the easy? Exactly, it's very easy. First term test is very easy. You're unwantably getting scared. Which of the following is not a government to government service? Which one? Renewal of vehicle. This is not for other governments. Okay, this is basically for your. This is a service that you're mostly your who can obtain. It's the citizens. Okay, the remaining three other governments can obtain, but the third one is for the citizens. Sri Lankan map can be useful for the governments. Tourist information can be used for the government. Sri Lankan custom information that also can be suitable for the governments. But renewal of vehicle license, it's not suitable for other governments. It's suitable only for Sri Lankans. So it's basically citizens. Right, the next one. Dash machine can create digitalized images of internal organs of the body. Which one? Yes. CAT and MRI both can be used to actually scan the body, but MRI is mainly used to create the digital image of the internal organs because MRI is more clear than CAT. So when you do the CT scan, normally if you have to check if you have a bones fractured or a fractures, we can use CAT scan. But if you want to check any organs, nerves, all those stuffs, actually MRI is more suitable. Both can give 3D image. CAT also can, MRI also can. Not 3D image up to a certain level. Not 3D. It's 2D, 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 2D. No, it's 2D, it's 2D. 2D means up to a certain level. It's kind of 3D, but yeah. CAT, computerized axial tomography. You all know X-ray, right? X-ray is a kind of CAT. X-ray means you will be taking just a part of your body. No, in CAT scan, it's like you scan the whole body. You'll be getting like X-ray, but it looks a bit 3D again. Next, which of the following is the best solution to protect crops from natural disaster? Which one? Exactly, it's greenhouse. Drip irrigation to water the plants. Meteorological device is to monitor the what you call farm, like the temperature, all those stuffs. And crop harvest is basically you're going to harvest the crops from so out of all of them to protect from natural disasters. Greenhouse is comparatively better. Next, In dash topology, all the connections are established through a main cable. Which one? Exactly. It's the bus topology. I gave another name for the main cable when teaching in the class. What was it? Exactly. It's also called the backbone cable. Okay. It's also called the backbone cable. Is that clear? Perfect. The next one. Which are the following example is used in microwaves? If you take microwaves, TV remote uses infrared. It's an infrared. Telephone network is normally a wired network, but if you're taking the wireless telephone network, this has, yeah. Wi-Fi is normally radio waves. Satellite communication, it uses microwaves. Telephone network, it depends because telephone network, it has a part of radio waves and one part is based on but mostly telephone network is a, like for example from your that from the, let's say from your house to the cell tower, it goes in a radio waves. From the cell tower to the next cell tower, it goes in microwaves. But yeah, the most suitable answer here is going to be satellite, because satellite is completely microwaves. In the tube you said radio waves. No, no, like if you take telephone communicate network, like for example, let's say I have your house is there here, your friend's house is there here, will you? So how the data will be connected, will you? It'll from your house, it'll go to the cell tower. No, this is going to be basically a radio waves. Then close to your friend house, there will be another cell tower. No, from here to here, it might go. No, it might go to the satellite and then only go to other cell tower. So yeah, this is basically microwave, and this is again radio waves. This is radio. This is radio waves. This is microwaves, and this is microwaves. I thought the micro oven. No, no, not the micro oven, man. These are microwaves. Sorry, what's up? So your answer there is going to be the fourth one. Easy. The next one. Which of the following is an example for data processing? Which one? One, two, three, or four? Calculating the account balance using banking software after a cash withdrawal. That's actually a process. Copying a file from a USB drive to a hard disk. That is not a computer process. That's a process which you do manually. Installing sound editing software in personal computer. That's also a manual process which you're doing. It's not a data processing. Okay. Scanning a letter using a scanner. That's also a manual process which you're doing. It's not a data processing. So in terms of data processing, what do you mean by data processing? Converting what to what? When we're talking about data processing, we're talking about converting what into what? Exactly. Data into information. So out of the given answers, data into information is converted only in the first scenario. Any questions there? If there's anything, drop in the chat. Okay, let's go for the next one. Consider the following statements. A. Used for scientific and engineering functions. So in tubes, it's unshielded twisted pair. That is, I'm talking about the land phone connection, Ilma. The telephone network, the land phone connection is unshielded twisted pair. The normal, like let's say dialogue monitor, that is radio waves. I mean, from your house to the cell tower, it's radio waves. Got it? Okay, the next one. A is used for scientific and engineering function and to solve complex mathematical problems. Supercomputer. For an examiner to prepare an exam paper away from home, he can use a personal computer itself. Used in large scale business. Normally, large scale business, they use mini as well as they use mainframe. It depends. But let's see. Out of the given answer, only 2 and 3 has super in the first one. So obviously, that's going to be the answer out of these two. Here we have microcomputer, laptop computer. There is no category called laptop computer. The category is microcomputer. So answer is number 3. Boom. We learned no, you can categorize the computer based on size and technology. So this is where we categorize based on what? Based on Based on what? Exactly. This is based on size. Based on size, do we have anything called laptop computer? Is there a category called laptop computer? No, it comes on laptops normally comes under what category? Exactly. It comes under microcomputer. Perfect. Let's go for the next one. But mini computer is not used in large scale business, right? It is used. We can use mini as well. We can use this mainframe as well. It depends on the nature of the business. Okay. For example, in banks, banks all use mostly internal banks. In the banks, internally they use a mini computer. Like if there's multiple banks communicating, mostly it's mainframe, but internally a bank will use a mini computer. So bank is a large scale business, right? Next, which are the following technologies used in inkjet printer? What is used? Laser printer use laser. So laser printer use normally laser or sorry, laser as well as ink is called toner in laser printer. And thermal printer uses heat, and inkjet printer mostly uses cartridge. Okay, so it's called the cartridge. Ink is put inside this so-called thing called cartridge. Next, which of the following are true about the secondary memory of a computer system? Data secondary memory is normally talking about, let's say, the external, like for example, optical storage device, magnetic storage device, all those stuffs, right? Data is not erased even if the computer is switched off. Is that statement correct? Yes. Solid state device can be used as secondary memory. Is that statement correct? Yes. Secondary memory is a part of the CPU memory. Is that statement correct? No. Can CPU directly communicate with the secondary memory? No. Normally, who actually takes the data from the CPU and go and gives it to the secondary memory? Normally it is done by the cache memory. Okay. Normally it is done by the cache memory. Cache memory intermediating the connection between the primary memory and the secondary CPU. So CPU and the secondary memory will be communicating. In between, the cache memory will be there. Okay. Next, so answer here is going to be A and B only. Next, let's go for the next one. Which generation considered as birth of operating system? Operating system started with generation? Exactly. It started in third generation. What was special about the fourth generation operating system? Exactly. We had the graphical user interface in the fourth generation computers. Perfect. Next, which is an example for simplex mode? What is the answer? Exactly. It's watching the TV. Walkie-talkie is what? Simplex, half duplex, or full duplex? It's half duplex. Telephone conversation, full duplex. Discussion, full duplex. Are using the fourth generation computers or fifth generation? Currently, we use the fifth generation computers. Right. Which of the following is used in ATM to print the receipt? Okay. What is discussion meant here? Discussion, like let's say we both are talking to each other face to face. If both of us are talking face to face, we can talk at the same time, right? I can interrupt your communication. I can what do you call, so it's a full duplex communication. Fine. Which of the following is an ATM? ATM uses what type of printer? Exactly. ATM uses thermal printer. Okay. It uses heat. That's why if you have come for the ATM receipt, after a while, the ink will actually vanish because it's not ink, it's basically heat. If you take that print, if you take the paper you got from the what do you call paper you got from ATM, take a hair dryer and sometimes keep the paper, it might turn black. Sometimes it depends on the paper quality, but yeah. Same things in bills, not all the bills. For example, if you go to Keel Super, you get thermal. If you go to Cargills, you get dot matrix. So it depends on what bills you're talking about. Next, which of the following is commonly used in architectural design? What is used? Architectural design like housing plans, all those stuffs. Exactly. We use a plotter. Perfect. The next one. Which of the following is not an example for scanner? Not an example for scanner. Perfect. Touchscreen is not a scanner. Okay, touchscreen is not a scanner. The C ATM is a type of scanner. Automatic teller machine is a type of scanner. Okay, it scans your debit card or credit card. Flatbeds can also scan stuffs. MIC also scan stuffs. Touchscreen is not a scanner. It's a pointing device. The CPU checks dash first to see whether the required data is available for processing. But um, register is there anyways inside CPU. It normally checks the RAM because RAM only gives the data for the CPU. So if the CPU is checking if the data is available for processing, it should be checks the RAM. Okay, and if it's available from the RAM, it will be taken to the register and it will be given for, let's say, ALU. And after ALU is done, it will again come back to the register and again give it back to the RAM. So RAM is going to be the answer there. Next, it's cache. No, it's not cache. Cache stores the frequently used data. Technically speaking, cache memory stores the frequently used data. So and also the data that is being used for processing. Frequently used data from processing it actually takes from the RAM. Cache and RAM are different. Yes, cache and RAM are different. RAM, not cache memory. RAM stores cache memory stores the frequently used data, and when it's processing, it takes from the RAM the data. It doesn't take the data from the cache memory. Cache memory just stores the data for fun. So fun means like unless it's going for secondary memory. If it's going to deal with secondary memory, then yes, cache memory is going to intermediate. But if you're going to talk about data processing directly, normally you know the purpose of RAM is what to take the data from the input device and then it gives to the CPU. And yeah, from input device, it goes for the main memory. So in main memory, it depends on what the data is. If it's going to be like processing data is normally handled by, let's say I go and enter the data as your cards RAM. Actually, both can be considered because both comes as main memory, but it depends on the scenario. Hmm. Yes. So out of them, let's go for CPU. Sorry, cache because your textbook mentioned cache. But technically speaking, whatever data that comes to the input device will come to the RAM first. And from there only it will get distributed. So I'm going to stick there with cache memory. And thank you for correcting. Next, which of the following is an example for an education website? MOI is something regarding for the Ministry of Education. And NSLI is also sorry, wait, the question should be not an example because there's all three examples. Only Amazon is not an example. So it should be which is not an example. Okay. So if you take not an example, the answer is going to be which one? Amazon. Because all three other remaining three are actually educational websites only. EduPub is also educational website. NSL is also educational website. MO is also type of educational website only. Amazon is a type of website. Amazon is what type of website? It's called e-commerce website. The online shopping website we call as e-commerce website. Okay, also known as online shopping is basically coming under the category of e-commerce website. And then the next one. Why isn't correct one a hyperlink? When typing that bug won't have typed it properly. Simple. Should we memorize some of these websites name? Nah, you don't have to memorize it. It's like common sense. It's like you will automatically when you're doing question all this stuff, it will come to your head. So you'll be getting practice. Like when you get the experience, you know, okay, Amazon is a shop website. Now how can that be connected to? You'll be coming across theoretically. It's the flow you will get it. Don't worry. Right. Which of the following characteristic is the fourth generation computers? High efficiency, yes. Consume high electricity, comparatively okay. high heat comparatively, yeah. But the main thing, the main feature fourth generation computer had was it was portable. What was the device which was introduced in the fourth generation computer? There was a name for that device, the portable computer which was introduced in the fourth generation computers. It started at a P. Exactly. It's called the palm tops. Palm top was created in it's like this. It's like a laptop in the size of your palm. So that was created in the fourth generation computer. So out of them, the most suitable one will be the first one, portable. Next, which of the following is the largest? There's a trick for this. One, two, four. Wait, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, all are equal numbers. What you do is you go and check the last character. Okay, if the last bit is they are here, and they are here, then the last bit is obviously equal. Then you go for the next character. The next one, next the who has second character. Only this bug has second character. Okay, technically speaking, this fellow should be the largest. Okay, this fellow should be the largest. The reason is because if I add all of them together, if I add all of them together, they will be one less than the value of this. So, for example, if that is going to be, let's say the value of 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. This character's value is going to be 32, right? 2 to the power 5, 32, right? If I add all of these values together, I'll be getting only 31. So technically, the shortcut how you do these kind of questions to find the largest one is just see, first of all, are all of them having the equal number of bits? Okay. If all of them are equal, first of all, if the first bit is there, left side corner bit is there, then obviously that value is same. Then you go for the next bit. So comparatively, this bug only is the largest based on that. If there's a large number of number one, then you go for the next bit, next bit, next bit. Now, for example, if I give you options like this, let's say first option is now based on that. If they're not equal, the one with the most number of bits is the largest. If the number of bits not equal, the person with the largest number of bits and having the one at last is the largest. Simple. Based on that, tell me if I have like these options. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Let's say I have here is 1, 1, 1, 1. So 1, 1, 1, 0. Or let's say double 1, double 0. And 1, double 0. And let's say 1, 0, 0, 0. And let's say 1, 0, 0, 1. Out of them, what do you think is the largest? Exactly. It's going to be the first one, right? Because first one has 1, 2, 4, 8. 8 plus 4 is equal to 12. Here, 8, 2, 1, 9, 10, 11. This is equal to, say, I told you, if you have to take the remaining sum, actually, it will come one less than the second one. Here, it will be equal to 8. Here is equal to 9. Okay. If you do the conversion, you know it. So that's the easy way to find the largest one. Just start the left side corner and find which has the most number of ones from left side, not from right side. If you just think most number of ones, you might go and mark the second one. So the most number of ones. From the left side, the most number of ones. From the left side, you can see all of them are equal here. Here, this bug is leading. Right? So that you find. Is that clear? This is how you can do the MCQ faster. Nothing to waste time converting all of them. Next. Which of the following is correct during the program execution in CPU? Instructions and data are brought from the main memory. Instructions and correct. Yeah. So instruction data are brought from the main memory. They are brought from the input device. Okay, let me keep that on hold. Instructions are brought from the main memory and data are brought from the secondary memory. I'll keep that as hold. Instructions are brought from the secondary. That's wrong. Instructions and data are brought. That's wrong. Instructions and data are brought from the main memory. No. Instructions are brought from main memory and data are brought from secondary. Um, mostly it's this. Okay, but you can bring data also from the main memory. From the main memory. From the main memory, you can bring data as well. Actually, 1 and 2 both are correct, but most suitable is the second one. Wait. The question is talking about CPU. To the CPU, if you take the computer, you have input device. From the input device, the data is sent to the main memory. From main memory, if the data has to be processed, it will be sent to the CPU. The processed data will be sent back to the main memory. And then to output, we send to the output device. If the data has to be stored, it will be sent to the secondary memory. And if you want to obtain any data, you get it from the secondary memory. So based on this, instructions and data are brought. If you take the CPU, instructions and data both are brought from the main memory. In terms of CPU's perspective, it's brought from the main memory. So my bad. Answer is going to be the first one, not the second one. Do you all know indirectly what this diagram is talking about? Can I remember that in your textbook you all had a picture, like a big picture, like they showed you like input device kiladala. Then there's like two arrows like this. Okay, and then there was like something called main memory, then two things, output device, then two things, then secondary storage. And here CPU ke lokuwa adila. Here you have control unit, then here you have ALU, and here you have memory registers. Kila. There was a big picture there in your second lesson of functions of a CPU. Kila. Indirectly, they're talking about that only. Okay. So technically speaking, the instructions and all are bought for the CPU from the RAM. See, from the main memory, mainly it's from the RAM and cache memory. So answer is the first one. Got it? I studied only 300. Actually, tude is enough to study. Only thing is, they'll ask apart from the tude, they can ask logical questions, like practical logical questions. Anyways, the next one, 33. The commands booting up instructions are stored in where? I gave you all. Example for boot up command is BIOS. It's stored where? In the ROM. Exactly. The boot up commands are normally stored in the ROM. Next one. Which of the following is the fastest data transfer medium? Which one? Exactly. The fastest one was the fiber optics cable. Perfect. Next. Network interface card is located where? On the motherboard. Okay, it's a hardware that is located on the motherboard. Okay, a network interface card is all used to connect to the network. Now, for example, if you have your computer, okay, for you to be able to connect to Wi-Fi network is because of NIC. Now, certain computers you might know you can't connect to a wireless network. It'll be like you can't like it's like you can't like Wi-Fi is not working killer. There's no Wi-Fi in your computer killer. The reason you can't connect to a wireless network is because you don't have the network interface card, right? So only if you have the network interface card, you can connect to a wireless network. Fine. The next one. Which device it should be which device acts as a data translator in the computer network? It is what? I gave you the word called modulation and demodulation. That is basically translating. It's called the modem. Okay. Modem only actually acts as a data translator between your internet service provider and your computer, your network actually. That's an advanced, you can forget about that. But it's the modem. That's why you call the word modem is actually formed using the word called modulation and demodulation, right? Keep that in your mind. That's basic data translation. Which of the following network is a combination of several local area network? What is it? It's a MAN network. In MAN only we connect many local area networks. Fine. Which of the following is incorrect regarding local area network? Geographically distributed in a small area. Is that statement correct? Small area. Is that correct regarding local area network? Yes, correct. Geography owned by a single person or an organization. Is that statement correct? Yes. Mostly land network is like one office or like your only network or something like that. Consists of many shared data communication media with various interface. Consists of many shared data communication media with various interfaces. Normally, you will not have many shared communication media. Communication media means, like for example, let's say fiber optics like media. So in terms of media, you can take like let's say radio waves, microwaves, let's say infrared, or let's say even coaxial cable. Like multiple stuffs will not be used in a LAN network. Mostly LAN network will use some of the RJ45 LAN cable. It's a type of shielded twisted pair. Yeah, it's a type of shielded twisted pair. Generally consists of topologies, bus, star, and ring. Is that statement correct? Yes, normally local area network only you might arrange in what you call star, bus, all those stuffs. So the suitable answer, basically the incorrect answer is the third one, right? Mostly you will not have different data communication media. It's going to be the same data communication media. Mostly it's LAN cable. It's LAN cable is normally a type of shielded twisted pair. Okay, I think I have a LAN cable. It's front of my eyes only, but I'm lazy to go and take it from there. This LAN cable is front of me there in that table. Is all topology is LAN. You can have a mostly LAN is mostly topology is a LAN. You can create a wireless topology as well, but most when you're talking about topology, it's a LAN. But that doesn't mean always. Okay. What about MAN? MAN is like you take LANs and connect together. No? For example, let's say I have LAN here. I have another LAN here. Imagine I told you have two buildings. If there's two buildings, both the building will have separate LAN. I can connect them together. Let's say using Wi-Fi network. Maybe this can be wireless. So this is a MAN network. A MAN network will contain multiple LANs. Got it? Perfect. The next one. Which of the following is used to control the data and instruction transmission between internet and computer network? Control the data and instruction transmission between internet and the computer network. If you take the internet and computer network, it is going to be the firewall. Firewall will control the data and instructions. Okay. If the what do you call if the data is clean, if the data is not having any harmful things, it will allow. If it has any harmful things, it will block. Okay, so it's basically the firewall. Server is basically the other computer, man. That is not it's not controlling the data and instruction. Server is another type of computer. It's type of server is a type of computer, man. I said client server, right? It's just two computers. Let's say if there's two computers connected, right? So if these two computers are going to be connected with each other, it's going to be like this is a server computer, it's a client computer. So server is basically a type of computer that doesn't control the data and instructions. Okay, the data and instructions are controlled when transferring is by the firewall. Firewall will make sure that it sends only the clean data. If there's any dirty, I mean, if there's any virus or like, by it depends. If you're like very intelligent person, you can breach it. But again, a firewall is only going to make sure that the data that is transferred or the authorization is all clean. Got it? So it's controlled by the firewall. If lands are connected together and forming man, will the topologies be the same for man? Normally, it doesn't. Man doesn't. Normally, talking about topology, it's about wired network, mostly. Okay, so in that case, we don't normally take because a man will consider multiple lands. Sometimes there can be one land star, another land can be bus, another land can be tree. So it can be like it can be complex. Got it, Shiraz? So no, that's why normally we don't for wireless network. That's why normally we don't consider the topology. Okay, only wired normally, but you can make a topology in wireless as well. Next, who is considered as a first programmer? Who is it? Charles Babbage. Which lesson will we get more questions from? For your first term test, you have only three lessons: one, two, and three. Okay, out of one, two, and three, most you will be getting for the second lesson. Comparatively, that doesn't mean okay. This is the most, and this is the middle, and this is the last least. That lady, Madam Ada August. Sorry. First programmer. Sorry. First programmer is Madam Ada August. See, Madam Ada Augusta Lovelace. Okay, she was the first programmer. Blaise Pascal created the what do you call adding machine. Charles Babbage created the analytical engine. Howard Aiken created the Mark One. And Madam Chileria, it's not Lady Augusta, it's Madam Ada Augusta Lovelace. She was the first programmer who wrote the program for which computer. Second term, what we will get? So second term, mostly you might get the first six lessons. That is like additional logic gates, operating system, and word. So it will mix and come. Exactly, it's the analytical engine. Can you show her? Her picture is there in the tute. Yeah. grade 10 ICT class. What about hexadecimal octal? Normally, number conversion, you get very few questions. Man. Sometimes, if it's a first term test, you can get one whole question regarding number conversion, but comparatively, it's less. Even your O levels also is very less. First term, because it's first time you're learning about number conversion, they can give you a lot of questions. Huh? Past paper class time. Past paper, I have only for grade 11s, not for grade 10s. Grade 11s is on Mondays from 7 to 9, 7, sorry, 6:30 to 6:30 to, see, 6 o'clock to 7:30. The paper is very easy. I thought of it will be here. It's actually very easy. I told you. Are we asked by questions giving pictures? In MCQ, they have no logic gate questions. Logic gate is not first term. Logic gate is second term. Only first three lessons come on a first term. Logic gate is fourth lesson now. This file is stored in my Google Drive. That's why it's taking so long to load. Quick, 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 quick. It depends on the school. Now, certain schools they do question lesson number one, lesson number two, and lesson number six because one and two is theory, right? So it depends on the school. In majority of the schools, they follow one, two, three. So that's why I did the one, two, three because as per if you go to past papers and also it's one, two, three. Exactly. Majority of the school they go in one, two, three. Right. So if you take the tute in the latter part of the tute, we had about they can give these pictures and ask name. Okay. Normally, provincial will not come with the first term list. This is how Madam Ada Augusta Lovelace looked like. This is Charles Babbage. This is Ada Augusta Lovelace. Fine. So yeah, with that, actually, we're done for the day. Actually, I thought it'll go till 9:30, but by 9 o'clock, we were able to complete all the questions. Not bad. Good speed. So if you have any questions, you can stay and ask. Others, if you're good with everything, you can actually leave. I'll be dropping the filled version of this PDF and unfilled version of this PDF in the MasterIT WhatsApp channel. Okay. So I'll just drop the link of the channel if you want in the chat. You can get the link from there. And for any class details, you can WhatsApp me personally. I have a small doubt in Unit 3. Yes, ask. Yes, good night. You're welcome. And yeah, wishing all of you all the best for the exams. Get 100 out of 100. Enjoy the paper. Bye. Walaikum salam. Have a nice day. Those who have any questions, all can stay and ask. Others, if you're done, all can leave. Not bad. You finished early. You're welcome. Bye bye. I think first time I'm finishing some class early. I mean, so early. You're welcome. Bye bye. Someone said they have a question. Who was it? Ilmother. Ilma, what is the question? Sir, I saw the requirement today. The page 16, example 2. Can we write as R16? No, the maximum number we have is F. What was the example 2? Where number? Page 16, example 2. Let me just check. Example 2 is 27, man. From where to get R? In letters, we have only from A to F 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that also 15 means this burger should be 15. Like, this here 7 here, this should be either 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to change as letters. From where do we get R? Thank you, Shafar. Okay, cool. Can you explain the function of a computer system? A computer system has three functions. Input data, four functions. Input data, process the data that is input, store the data that is required, and output. So input, process, output, and store. These are the four functions of a computer. It's right. There's nothing else. Okay, so as there were no any other questions, I'm going to end the meeting. Have a nice day. Bye bye.